Well, Western Digital was a rare one that I got of, but mainly if they're in there, they're probably not coming out for a while.
I'm not sure if it's just me and you talking to each other here, Joel, or if we
No,
actually do have some
I'm getting
different.
it back up right now. I'm getting it back up right now.
Or so it's just me and Joel
We
talking
are
to each other?
we are officially back up. We're officially.
Me and Joel just had an interesting conversation, apparently just with each other because the stream was down everywhere. But we were just talking long-term investing versus trading, and it's a fine balancing act as a trader. I always struggle with the long-term investing stuff, and that's why I try not to look at it. So when I stick something in my long-term portfolio, I will go, a lot of times and not log into my long-term investment portfolio for weeks because I know if I start looking at certain things, I want to trade it. It's like natural, the human tendency in me to trade everything. So I've always struggled, between the trader hat and the investing hat. I think I do a good job with my trading. The long-term investing, especially lately since we've been doing the radio show over the course of the last 3 or 4 years, because I'm talking about my long-term investing a lot more. We want to do full disclosure. I want to tell you when we own stuff and when we don't. But as I talk about it more, it makes me think about it more. It makes me want to trade it more. So, and honestly, I wonder if the radio show sometimes doesn't hurt my long-term investing because I'm talking about my long-term investments so much.
Well, there's a lot of different ways you could slice it up, but what about some of the ideas that you get, from the show and from the day trade? Are we okay, Spencer?
Yeah, from a trading perspective, I think the show helps for sure. It's just like when I used to do all the long-term investing, I used to like not look at it, don't think about it, don't look at it. And now I'm always thinking about it and looking at it because we talk about that stuff, and we want to give different perspectives on the show as well. We want to talk, to the traders out there. We want to talk to the long-term investors out there, and it's fun to talk about this stuff. And I enjoy talking about the long-term investing as well. But I always find the more I talk about it, the more I look at it, the more I want to trade it. And I've been doing it lately, and selling out of some of the stocks that maybe I shouldn't be selling out of. Maybe cutting those winners a little bit too soon in my long-term investment portfolio.
Yeah, but then look at the way you cut bait on that Intel.
Yeah, and that was good. I mean, at least it's good for now. Is it going to be good in 20 years if I don't rebuy it? I don't know. I think I cut bait pretty good. I just don't get back in fishing quick enough. And same thing in December. I mean, we were cutting. I cut that portfolio back, my long-term portfolio, because I was worried about the market. At a pretty good time. This was at the end of November, early December, and we fell 15 to 20% over the course of the next 3 to 4 weeks. And I was laughing. Not laughing, but I'm like looking good because, I've raised, a significant amount of cash, but I didn't get the cash back to work, quick enough. And then I'm sitting and, I've been putting some of that cash back to work now, but you're sitting and you're like, oh, so it's good to, get out, but you got to, get back in too. And at least if you're in the long-term investing game, because if the market starts going and starts to come back like it did in January, February, March, now you're missing the boat. Now you're missing out on significant profits that other people are making. So tricky balancing act between trading and investing. And, I'm willing to take tips from other people too. If they're, we got some traders / investors out there. How do you guys balance it? How do you, not go into your long-term trading portfolio and trade it all the time when you're an active trader? I mean, I sometimes make 200-300 trades a day, and then completely ignoring your investment portfolio. It's difficult because you'll see something going down, you'll see something getting beat up, and you're thinking, well, if that was my trading portfolio, it'd be long gone. I don't want to eat the loss here. So maybe I think it's going down, I should sell it and then try to rebuy it. And sometimes selling is good, but you forget to rebuy it.
I got a suggestion.
Yeah.
Change all the passwords or give it to Laura. Have Laura change all
She's the only one that's allowed.
Yeah, she would be the only one. I mean, you still be holding Tesla, but
well, yeah, because she went on a Tesla, so I'd still be in Tesla.
Yeah,
but I mean, you know what? Maybe Tesla's going to come back, and she's going to end up being right on that one.
It's to get back to where you were long. It's going to have to go a long way.
A little work.
Yeah,
a little bit of work.
But anyways, okay, we're back working on old channels across the world here. So let's get back to the news and Aladdin. Let's do Aladdin now, Spencer.
Well, I guess I didn't realize that this was a thing that Dennis would go long ahead of.
Oh yeah,
a release. To me, this is like an ordinary release. So I don't know what is so special about, like, why would you go long Disney Friday ahead of this?
It seems like when they have a big movie and it's the big first weekend for them, and it has a pretty good weekend, more often than not, it's up on the Monday morning. So typically, I do a lot of, it's just going back to, it's not, I don't know if you can call it statter, but, it's statistical. We're looking back and, and looking through, and typically when Disney has a big movie, a big holiday weekend coming up, it usually goes up on the Monday. So it's not doing that in this case. Disney's actually flat here. It's not down, it's not up, but it worked very well on the Avengers movie, I believe. I think
Well, yeah,
Star Wars.
I mean, yes,
it
yeah.
worked well on the Star Wars stuff. It's
So-
worked well. Well, it depended. It didn't work well on Han Solo because nobody liked the Han Solo movie. But
Well, you're comparing apples and oranges. You need
Why?
you need to compare this movie. If you're gonna do this, you need to compare it to other like films. You can't compare this to the Avengers. It's going to make $1 trillion. I mean, it's incomparable. Star Wars is really incomparable. You can compare those two to each other, but there's nothing else.
Well, I think I am comparing apples and apples. I'm just saying when they have a big movie, keeping it simple, and I keep my trading very simple. Usually, when they have a big movie coming out,
well,
at the big first weekend, usually the stock's up on Monday, at least from my experience. Maybe it's selective perception. I don't have statistics to back that up, but I know I usually go long Disney over those course of that long weekend, and usually on the Monday it's up. So usually
I don't know how.
doing it in this case, it's flat.
Yeah, I don't know how big of a movie this qualifies as. They made $90 million dollars in the opening weekend. They're at $112 million.
What were the expectations? Is it higher or lower than the expectations?
Probably lower, considering it's got not great reviews. But if you're gonna do this, I would compare it to what happened when they remade other animated films. So the Beauty and the Beast remake came out March 2017. Dumbo was March 2019. And I would compare it to what happened the Monday morning after those.
Well, let's go back. We should go back. This is a good exercise, Spencer. Good article for you from Benzinga. Go back and
so March. Here we go.
The last 15 or 20, Disney movie releases in the first holiday weekend, and how many, and you got to consider market effects to a certain extent. So it might take some homework to see what the market was doing that day too, because if the market's up, 500 points on that Monday, well, Disney's going to be up, and that's nothing to do with the movie. But my selective perception on it is usually it's up after the release of a movie. So I guess